Good morning. It's a little bit hard for me to post these videos publicly sometimes because I'm a perfectionist and I know they're not perfect and I see that. But I am passionate about helping people understand better health. And I just want to tell you my story today. Um, Most of you watching this probably know me, but my name is Melissa and I have 5 children. This is my early riser here, but they are 9, 7, 5, 2, and 1. And 2 years ago, when I was pregnant with my 5th child, I had a very difficult pregnancy. And it made me realize what was going on with my life. I had gestational diabetes to the point that diet wasn't controlling, meds were being upped and upped again, wasn't making any difference. And finally, I was giving myself insulin shots twice a day. And I was so actually happy to do that. The ironic thing is I thought I never could be a nurse because I couldn't stick needles in people, but here I was so happy to be giving myself, sticking a needle in myself just because it was the only thing that made me feel normal. And I thought that I was a healthy person, um, because I was never sick that much, but I realized that I really have to start taking better care of myself because I'm at a much higher risk for developing diabetes later in life. And um, I know how miserable I felt in the throes of it. So anyway, when my daughter was born, she was a couple weeks old and she got a cold and wasn't sleeping well at night. I think a couple days old, maybe 10 days old. And my sister-in-law came over and watched her that night so I could sleep. And she made the comment, and thanks, Anne, you know who you are. She made the comment, I think there's some oils you can do for this. But I never really figured out what or how, and I just didn't know much about it. I had heard about essential oils, but I thought it was something, for perfumes or to make stuff smell good, whatever. So a couple months later, I was invited to an oils gathering, and it was a nurse, an RN, that presented the information, and it was so fascinating. And I was like, I gotta try this, see what happens. So I did, and started seeing some results. Of course, with 7 people in the family, we had lots of different things to experiment on, and I was like, why haven't I ever heard of this? Like, I have friends, I think I want to tell them about it. I wish I would have known about this 10 years ago. So I invited some friends over. The nurse came to my house to do a gathering, and there was so much interest that I wanted to have a second because not everyone can make it to the first. And people kept asking questions, and I was just so fascinated. Like, I was on this journey to change my health, and I was also losing weight at the time. It wasn't through oils. It was a different program that I started before I knew really that much about um, the weight loss options through Young Living. But anyway, um, I started seeing some really fascinating results, and I was just, like I said, so hungry to learn more. And people kept asking questions, and I was like, how can I not tell them if they want to know? And I kept telling Bev, the nurse, who I mention a lot, Bev, if you're watching this, thanks, you know who you are too. I kept saying, I don't want to do this as a business. I don't want to do this as a business. I have background in starting small businesses, direct sales. I was already doing some businesses from my home that were, doing well, and I just had no desire to sell something else or, like I said, have another business. And so that was fine, but here it is a year and a half later, and I'm still talking about oils, and has turned into um, the business because I'm passionate, like I said, about letting people know their options with health. And it's made such a difference in our life and our family. And so that's why I share. I want people to know their options, and I know that oils aren't for everyone. and that's fine. But I think people should at least know, and then they can make the decision and go from there and do what they want to do. Um, so that's why I do gatherings. That's why I talk about oils. And I know we all have different stories. I'd love to hear yours. Have a great day, everyone.